The GOAT, it's the GOAT, it's the give it GOAT. The GOAT, it's the GOAT, it's the ever GOAT. The GOAT, I got a little tied up on that, but it's the GOAT.
Welcome to episode 4 of the GOAT Pod. GOAT Pod. I am Wendell Holland, and for those that don't know, you probably know I was on Survivor. I am here with my good friend, the host of the Purple Pants podcast, a legend in the Survivor world from Survivor 28, the other half of Bryce and Wen, Mr. Bryce Isaiah.
What's up, Herd? I'm so excited to be back in the backyard with the gang.
Okay. And we have the one and only from Big Brother season 23, the founder of the cookout, the historic cookout, the second place finisher in Big Brother 23, the son of the legendary Smoking Joe Frazier. Mr. Derek Frazier is in the building.
Yo, what up is? You know what it is. Listen, I'm so happy to be here. This time, I'm happy to be in the basement of this podcast. So I am just so excited to go from the front yard to the basement and with my boy Bryce. So wherever we are, we're still at the what? GOAT Manor.
We'll get into that. And I know you guys see, lastly and certainly not least, the winner of Food Network Star season 13, the winner of Holiday Baking Championship season 3, the judge on Best Baker in America. Lord, honey, children, I am happier than 11 squirrels laying in a bed of chestnuts while indulging in their own delectable slices of pecan pie. The one and only Lord, honey, chef Jason Smith is in the building.
Lord, honey, yes, honey, I'm right here, and I'm upstairs. So Derek's down, I'm up.
I do not feed into
Yes.
this. I told them in the Goat House, we didn't just stay in Goat Manor. They took us to 5-star restaurants downtown. They had some competitions in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. You know, we were all over Atlanta. We weren't just in the house, right?
Mm-hmm. Jason.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, that's the correct answer.
Thank you,
we'll
Jason.
go with that story. Okay. Yeah, sounds good.
After we're at episode 4 now, and I love how they utilize every aspect of the house. I'm just waiting for a shower challenge in the downstairs basement or something, because I love we in the backyard, we in the front yard, we in the basement. So we love the utilization of space here.
Oh, honey, they utilize every inch of the space, and some of it you'll never see because it didn't make it. So.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Well,
That's
I
true.
mean, Derek and I love to utilize every inch of space.
Every inch of space.
Okay.
You know, and I know, Jason, you said you at the top. I'm at the bottom. I don't know if we talking something else or we talking, about the game.
Oh no, girl, we talking just about where I'm at, located in the house.
Thank you, Lord, honey. Thank you.
Let them know. Well, Wendeezy, where are you located?
I'm located
Uh-huh.
in a fancy podcasting studio in downtown Philadelphia. They happen to put a lot of photos of me on the wall. It's very nice of them. But yeah, I'm recording out of a very fancy studio. But yes, Jason, how we doing today, man?
Honey, I'm finer than frog hair split 4 ways. I can tell you what. I mean, you can't get no better than that. I am wonderful.
Good. Now, you're our first guest of the season. We have we think we have some special guests lined up, but you are special to me because in Goat Manor you're one of my roommates, and that was awesome. Can you just, I guess, tell the people what it was like in our room?
In our room, honey, it was crazy. Let me tell you something. You is one of those things that we had a party going on in our room all the time. 24/7, we was partying. We didn't know what conversation was going to come up, especially with Reza or Justin. You just never knew what was happening. So it was one of those things that our room was hopping, whether anybody else knew it or not. It was an awesome room. I mean, we bonded. We became very good friends. We have stories to tell that probably are not good enough to tell on a podcast, or maybe we shouldn't tell them, but it was always exciting. Let's just say that it was very exciting.
It was
will say this.
Go ahead, Dale.
Oh, go ahead. No, please. I'm so sorry. I just want to say I love that Wendell was stuck with the girls in a good way. Like he had to deal with all the conversations that he's used to hearing me and Bryce talk about. But Wendell has this thing where he's always like, "What are you and Big D always talking about?" Now he knows because he lived with 3 gay men in the room and he knows how those conversations went down. Because my question to you was, did you get a chance to see Joe like in his towel when he went to go shower?
Well, maybe once or twice.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ah.
was it heavy like groceries?
Let's just say if you had went to a farm and shoveled up 2 big bucketfuls of manure, it was more like that. Yeah.
We all have our own fetishes, so I mean,
I'm not mad at it. But I was asking Wendell, I said, I feel like because there was one episode where you guys were talking about penis, and I said, Wendell, what were they talking about penis in the episode? But he said he doesn't remember because he said it was just so long ago and there's so many conversations. So
Well, there's a lot of things we try to block out. I'm sure that's one that he's blocked out of his mind. So
Thank you.
there was always that one conversation every night that came back to that every single time. And then there would be times me and Wendell would look at each other and go, yeah, we're off to bed. We ain't dealing with this tonight. So
For sure.
before we get into the episode, Jason, we're at the 4th episode, and I noticed you stay in that kitchen. Was that a strategic move for you? If I keep these people's belly full, they'll love on me and maybe not say my name?
Honey, let me tell you, don't say my name or you don't get no gravy and taters, I can tell you. So that was always kind of my intentions coming into this was feed the masses, keep them fed, keep them happy. And it's going to do one of 2 things. You're either going to get so fat that you can't run in the competition, or you're going to be happy all the time. And why would you want to send home the person that's feeding you? So, I mean, it worked.
it's a great strategy. I use that same strategy in the Big Brother house. So it's a great strategy. Cooking and cleaning, keep you in the game.
That's right, honey.
And I will say your cuisine is phenomenal. Everything that you cooked was incredible. What I really remember distinctly, what is it like the inside out cinnamon rolls?
Oh yeah, the inside. Yeah, we had those on Easter morning I cooked a huge Easter brunch and we had the inside out cinnamon roll. So it's a cinnamon roll and you take and it's totally opposite of normal. So it's inside out. So you just flip it inside out and then you bake it and it's just, ooh, honey, it's ooey and gooey and honey.
I'm getting turned on because I love food. So I just want you to come and cook for me, Jason. That sounds good.
Oh, honey, anytime. I love to cook. That's for sure.
So
no, that's right.
Okay, maybe we'll get the chef up to Philadelphia one day. But last question before we get into this episode, chef. You walk into Goat Manor. I want to hear about your first impressions, like this collection of people, because I know from the Survivor world, I had my own thoughts going into the house. And then when I got in the house, I'm like, oh, I need to change my whole thought process. When you're walking into this show called The GOAT, what are you thinking?
So when I first walked into the mansion, I was thinking, okay, this is going to be kind of cool. So I'm going to get to meet a bunch of people probably that I've seen on TV or watched and kind of get to hang out with them. It's going to be fun. And then I walk in, I'm like, where did they get half of these bootleg people from? I don't know they must have dug these people up from years ago because I'm like, who on earth is this? I mean, the only people I actually knew when I came in there was you, and I knew Justin, and I knew Jill, and that was about it. And the rest of them, I'm like, who are all these, second-rate, people until you start getting to know about them. But
wait, you knew about Wendell?
Oh, yes, honey. That was my favorite season of Survivor.
Lord,
That was my favorite until you all came along. Let's just say up to that point, he was my favorite. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
And then you all came along and just changed the whole dynamic, honey. I was like, oh, I got me some new favorites now.
Listen, because I didn't know who Wendell was. They were talking, Wendell wants to talk to you from Philly. I said, who the hell is Wendell?
Jason, Wendell is my best friend, and I don't know who he is half the time. So,
honey, you ought to live with him in a house for as long as honey, you can learn a lot of things.
I forgot. Jason, I forgot to mention to you that half of this podcast is just my good buddies making fun of me. So
Oh,
there's
that's
that aspect of it.
Yeah, we down with that.
But to what you said, I think it's really cool that I feel like a lot of people's experiences was like that. When they walked in the house, it's like they recognize or know 2 or 3 of the people, and they're like, who are these other people? Now it's time to really get to meeting people. So,
yeah.
Shall we get into the episode?
Yeah.
Yes. Do you want to start us off, or you want me to?
I'll start us off. Us off. We start with some morning life, and this is CJ is now moving upstairs to the guys' room, to Tech and Joe's room, after this blind side of a fallout that happened last night. Pal was pretty mad at CJ. CJ tells Pal that Day was willing to essentially send anyone home on their team except for herself because she was the GOAT, but they sabotaged the challenge. So anyone was up for grabs, and that's exactly what happened the night before. The fellas and CJ aimed at Lauren, sweet Lauren, and sent her home. And then another thing that I noticed was Justin had a conversation with Kristen. They kind of pieced things up. Justin does have this big heart, and the night before, he made mention of Kristen and maybe her beverage consumption.
What did he say exactly? I just need to hear it one more time.
He said, Kristen, honey, you don't love nobody but the bottle.
Ooh.
I know. I don't think people understood that Alyssa Edwards, they must have never seen her on TV. She would get you together.
Honey, she will cut you.
Cut you, okay?
Yes. So then Justin, has a moment with her. Seems like seems like cooler heads are now going to prevail. And then we get into our GOAT challenge, the Dr. Pimple Popper challenge.
In the backyard.
No,
This
front
was-
yard.
Oh, front yard. No, front yard. Thank you, Jason.
Front
The
yard,
front
honey.
yard.
Honey,
Okay.
get straight now. Front yard.
Jason,
But what's
was
the
challenge.
theme? What's the theme this episode? Isn't it about marriage or married, like married type of
Medical.
themes?
No,
Medical.
So this episode is all about doctor's world.
Got it. Thank
So
you.
Everything doctor.
Yes. Jason, this wasn't the challenge that they brought us to the stadium where the Falcons play, and we're in the.
Well, that was really the challenge, but it was so good they couldn't use that one, so we saved that one for something else. Yeah.
Got
So
it. That's right.
now we're back at the Goat Manor in the front yard, honey. I'm fixing to squeeze something. It's gonna be just, ooh, Lord, it's gonna be
silly
nice.
me.
What took me out, as soon as everyone came out, I'm noticing everybody's outfits. And I'm like, I know Wendell does not have a Survivor buff in his head. I'm like, okay, Wendell wants everybody to know he plays Survivor. But, shout out to Survivor because it is one of the top elite shows that is out there. So, shout out to you, Wendy's.
You love doing that. And I'm sitting right here.
I'm sorry. What show were you on?
Ooh.
So I'm like Jason. The only person I knew here today was Jason.
Derek, I think we can all agree that when it comes to Survivor and Big Brother, there's only one GOAT.
Oh God. Well, I can't wait. I can't wait to potentially be on the GOAT.
Okay. All right.
Honey, they need to bring us all back, honey. We need to do a whole new retake because I loved it so much. Oh Lord, I loved it.
I would love to come and just bring y'all back and just add some newbies. I would have so much fun. And we
Joe.
could really talk, right, and Joe. And we could talk about penis all day long once I get there.
This is a family-friendly show, gentlemen. So the challenge requires it's such a game of luck, and there's a little strategy to it. And I'm sure Jason can elaborate on that. But essentially what you do is you walk up, you pop a balloon. If it has yellow stuff in it, you're eliminated. If it has blue stuff in it, you're not eliminated. Chef, is there any strategy to this as you walk out, as you see these pimples?
Walking out looking at these pimples, I was thinking in my head, okay, blue or yellow. So you're trying to look at the balloons and think which ones may look darker, and those you would think would have the blue stuff in them. So you're kind of trying to pick out which one is the darkest one, and that's the one to go for. Now, in my head, I'm thinking, don't pick any one that's directly in front of you. because those are probably, they're thinking, okay, this will be the easiest ones that we can get them out with, is put them all in front so they don't have to climb a ladder or anything. So obviously that's the strategy I'm going with, is trying to see the color if any of them's darker, and don't pick anyone just right in the front.
Yes. I think my strategy was half of that. I didn't think of the don't pick the front ones. I was just trying to see the ones that looked a little darker.
Yeah.
Those might be the blue ones, and go for those. But there came to a point where it seemed like, all of this stuff is all over the place and you can't see through them as well anymore.
Right.
People start dropping like flies. Reza on his walk-ups, he was ridiculous. Doing some like tongue out, like
Yeah, he was getting nasty, honey. He was getting nasty.
I love how Reza was like, he's when he sees his husband, he's like, come here, let me pop your pimple. And again, one of my favorite shows is Dr. Pimple Popper. So this was right up my alley of popping pimples.
Derek, do you like popping pimples?
I do. I never get them. As you can see, I'm like flawless.
I know you like me. We're always flawless.
Yes, baby. Listen, I got that Southern glow. Okay.
There you go.
But no, I'm not really a big fan of it. Do you have pimples, Wendell?
No.
Today?
Right. I saw one the other day when we was in Chicago.
Derek, see, you don't need to. Don't tell a lie on me, and I won't tell the truth about you.
Jesus Christ.
Okay. That's a Kendrick line. Anyway, so do we have anything notable about this challenge?
Team Drake all day.
Team Kendrick all day. The final four are Kristen, CJ, Joe, and Wendell. This was after this big night for Kristen. I think the fellas kind of had their eye on Kristen today, and so we kind of wanted her to be eliminated. And I think she goes out, and then it's my turn, and I go, and there's only one blue left out of the three remaining, and very luckily I get to pop the blue one. I get this blue nastiness all over my face. I didn't love it. It was in my beard. But I won the GOAT challenge in something that required absolutely no skill. And it felt good. That's why I got my GOAT shirt on today.
Okay. And where did it go again?
It just fell on the stuff fell on the ground. I kept my face very clean.
That's not what you just said. That's not
what did I say?
You said you had it all in your beard.
All over your beard.
Covered,
all over your face. And you loved it. And you loved it.
Yeah, it's in your beard. I mean, you were covered twice.
Oh, wow. Come on.
The first time you pop, it's all like you can't even see. You had to take your glasses off. And I'm like, and then you pop it. You're the last one that popped the blue one, which means that you were the GOAT that day.
Yes, it does.
I was like, okay, this is great. Finally, one of the guys have gotten the GOAT. We were all praying when Kristen went up, please do not let her get this blue one. Please do not let her get this blue one. Because Kristen, love her to death, but honey, she a hurricane. You never know what she's going to do is the thing. She may be all buddy with you today, and the next day, honey, she got you up in a pot cooking you like a big chicken in noodle soup. I'm telling you. So we were all like, oh my God, we've got to win. Somebody has got to win this, at least from our room. So we were thankful. Wendell has won the GOAT. He has got blue from top to bottom. He looks like he has been squishing Smurfs, honey. I mean, he is covered in this stuff. Like he's been rolling around in blueberry pie, honey. He's covered.
I think one of my favorite moments of the season was winning that and seeing the fellas run up on me. And like, we're just so happy and we're jumping. And that was a great moment. I think you can see, because the fellas don't win much, so you could see like joy and happiness, and then me and Reza, we slipped a little bit. That was kind of hazardous.
Honey, slip and fail. They laying on the ground like two big hogs and rolling around in the mud. Honey, I'm telling you, it's like, Lord, honey, y'all just get up. You're on the television looking all crazy.
I have to say, I was so shocked when Tosh said that You have an option. Do you want to be immune or win a check for $5,000? Now, mind you, I'm watching it and I'm like, when DZ is going to stay immune, he's locked in, he's playing the game. And when DZ, he took the $5,000 check, I said, oh.
Okay. So I thought about my position in the game at that moment. And I knew that at this time we did make a huge move. So I got a lot of eyes on me, but we flipped the house. We have the numbers. We even have CJ. And I'm confident usually in these team challenges that happen the next day. Me and Chef were on the same team a lot and won a lot. And I'm like, all right, we gonna find a way to win tomorrow. If not, I got my allies to fall back on. And everyone's like, take the money, take the money. When you got a $5,000 check in your face, I was just like, you know what? I thought about these things. I'm protected, kind of. You never really know. But I'm going to take this money. And I grabbed that check, and I was very happy to take it.
Well, and you should
take it.
You should have, because you were standing in a spot you didn't really need the immunity. You needed the GOAT part of it so that you can make the team the way you want it to be. But at this point, you didn't need the immunity because you had so many of us that was on the same side. So we had the numbers to save if you had not been, safe. So it's one of those things that you kind of have to think it through. And really, you didn't have much time to think it through. I mean, it's not like we got 30 minutes for you to think. We're not taking potty breaks and all that stuff. It was very quick. So I think you done exactly what you should have done.
Jason, I love you mentioning a numbers game, right? Because we're at episode 4, and it seems like from the first 1, 2, 3 episodes, there hasn't been a lot of strategy that we are seeing as viewers. We see maybe like 1, 2, 3 people really playing. How much strategy was going into these challenges?
Well, there's a lot of strategy going into the challenges. A lot of times, you don't really see us talk as much, but we all had these like faces or looks. And if we were working together, we could give these kind of faces or looks to each other, and we knew that things were on track or what it needed to be. So but it's a lot of strategy. I mean, I come from the competitive kitchen. And I never had to do this strategy stuff before, but I learned very quickly. And a lot of that came from Wendell, me learning from him, because he was in our room. And we were really like, oh my God, when you were on Survivor, how did you do this? What are you thinking? Because there was 4 of us there. Wendell was the only one in our room that actually had done this strategy before. So 3 of us was totally lost. But learning from him as quick as we did, we kind of learned that strategy aspect of it, which I absolutely fell in love with. And I'm ready to do Survivor, Big Brother, the challenge, all of that now. So, but it's one of those things. Yes, it's a lot of strategy, but you can't get stressed out, because once you get stressed out, you're going to screw it up every time. So,
yeah. Jason, you, I will say in particular, you and Reza picked up game so fast. And I come from this world, so it's like second nature. There are things that I've just been through and studied, loving this game of Survivor. But you guys, and like you said, you've watched, so game, but the way you guys picked it up, it was so easy to then come together as a 3 and figure out a strategy so quick. And like you said, with the glance of an eye or something, we were locked in. We knew what to do.
Can we real quick, Wendell and Jason, can we see a look that you would give if you weren't working with somebody? What would that look like?
Well, my whole thing is if I looked at you and went, then we know we was all right. It's that nonchalant, oh, you want taters this morning? Okay, I got you.
Okay. I got to practice
scrambled egg.
I got to practice that when I meet Joe. You want some taters?
No, you go, oh, honey, you want some
you know what? And I just want to say, Wendell, I'm actually glad that you did take this money, because I know the reason why you're fighting, to win this money on the show. And I'm glad that you did that. You have a baby that's on the way. This is obviously such a good moment for you to take this money. If you didn't take the money, I probably would have been like, what are you doing? Especially because you had a big alliance and everything behind you.
Yeah, so that was one thing that I was kind of holding close to the chest. In confessionals, of course, I would talk about the baby coming, but I wouldn't talk to the goats much about that because it was something that I was fighting for right here. But of course, I wanted to be able to open up in confessionals and then say it at the right time to the rest of the goats. But yeah, so we get that confessional about me taking the money because we have a baby on the way and because it was the third trimester, and I wasn't shaky. I knew I shouldn't be there, but I knew I wanted to go out here and make money for my family and for the future of my son. So we got that confessional. And as hard of a player as I am, I play really hard. I try to compartmentalize. I try to stay locked in when I'm playing. But then when you get in a confessional and you're talking about home life and your family and your first child on the way, that's when my real emotions tend to come out. And so you get a kind of raw emotional confessional from me, just talking about my son coming and all the things that I'm playing for. Anything on that, gentlemen?
No, I thought it was beautiful.
No, that was good.
Yeah.
That was
Yes.
real good.
So where do we cut to next? Because now, obviously, you won the challenge. I mean, we got it. You're the go. Jason and the rest of them learned so much from you, Wendell. I don't know why, but whatever. Because you're not gonna let that go. Y'all feed his ego up so much. Me and Bryce be trying to knock him down. He came back like
this. You're right. You're right. Okay, you're right. But I think from this was a very important and pivotal conversation that I had with Davon.
Yeah.
People.
And I want us to get into it because when I think of the conversation, I looked at it as us trying to come back together, but watching it is a little different. And I think she received it differently. So let's get into it. My language was, I apologize for making my best move for me and my people. And she said, I thought I was your people.
Yes.
I said, you are my people. And she goes into a confessional. She says, I'm realizing how full of ish he is. I'm going to nod and act like you're finessing the hell out of me. Oh, Wendell, you're so silly, but shut the F up. Wendell is playing the Survivor game, and I know his Survivor game. And I'm watching this like, I mean, I'm not trying to finesse. I would like to work with you.
Yeah, I mean, the funniest thing is she's calling you out on this, and I'm thinking, but you're the one that's full of it. You're doing it worse than anybody, and we can see it when you're doing it. I mean, hello. So I was like, when I seen that part of it, I was like, oh, girl, honey, you know.
And
now.
Hey, wait, and Jason, I'm gonna give you this preface right now. My brothers, Derek and Bryce, they let me know when they are always on the other side of me. So they're gonna let me know about myself, but
not too much on my sis. Not too much. Right. I'm gonna let Bryce go, then I'll go. Go ahead, Bryce.
For me, I understand it, but literally as I'm watching it, like, oh, this is getting good. They're going to have a conversation. And the second that you said my people, I literally was like, and it's like, I felt like I was Day in that moment. Cause I'm like, I thought I would because it would have been different if it's like, I'm trying to win for us. But when you said my people, I said, oh.
What, Bryce, what this reminded you of? The car ride back from Canada.
My people.
My people.
Yeah.
I got to look out for my people. And look how
people.
she acted. Now you should know because you just watch how your words would affect somebody.
That was my thing. When he said my people, I thought, oh, I didn't know you as Moses.
Okay, let him go. Okay,
I'm like, wait a minute. And I was like, oh, Lord, honey, you said it all wrong. But I mean, I was like, oh, when she said, well, I thought I was your people. And he I was thinking, oh, Lord, honey, you have got to smooth this over somehow because you have stuck your foot up. Honey, you stuck your whole leg in it. But then when she was calling him out saying he was full of shit, and I was like, but you full of it too. I know he shouldn't have said my people. He should have said, I'm fighting here for our group.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, when he said our people, I was like, oh, I didn't know I was living in a bedroom with Moses. I was like, part the waters, honey, let's go.
Let my people go.
Let my people
people go.
So I'm glad that happened because then Wendell was able to see it like
Yeah.
from another viewpoint of
Yeah.
how when you use certain words, it could cause somebody. Because if he would have changed it up, that would have been great. But also, as you said, Jason, Davon's also playing full of shit too. So it's like it's a double-edged sword. But she didn't say anything to cause like him to feel some type of way. He said that, and that will make her go, "Oh no, I'm not one of your people," and that was it. That was it right there.
Yeah,
fair. I received that. Maybe I should have used a different choice of words. But so at this point, I still think that all right. With the right peace offerings, Davon and I can work together. So we get into the next challenge. I'm the GOAT. I get to pick teams. I'm like, all right, I'm going to pick. My team has been like, we win. So I'm going to pick my people. My man, Jason. I'm going to pick Davon. This is a peace offering. Let's do this. I'm going to pick CJ and I'm going to pick Joe. My team's looking good. And we will go against Reza, Tech, Kristen, Pal, and Justin. And the floater.
Also, not too much. You almost forgot about Jill.
And Jill, but Jason, could you provide us the location of this?
Oh, we in the front. We back in the front yard.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
We back in the front yard. Yeah.
Thank you.
We were outside of the Georgia Aquarium for this one.
It just looks like we're in the front yard.
Yeah, it was the yard next to the aquarium. They took us in the Mercedes Sprinter there. Jason, you remember.
I thought you wasn't in the middle of the sea for this challenge.
No, not this one, honey. No, we was afraid if they took us downtown, everybody would thought we was real doctors.
So, okay, fine. We're in the front yard for this one. So, and Jill is the floater. Jill gets to choose which team she wants to ride with, and then if that team wins, then she's immune the next day. So me, Day, CJ, Joe, Jason against Reza, Tech, Kristen, Pal, and Justin. This is the challenge where we actually had dog collars hooked to both of our arms.
But not one, honey. We had two, one on each arm.
Yeah. They didn't show that.
Well, honey, let me tell you. They tried to just show us not pee on herself when we got shocked. Because let me tell you, listen, you talk about shocking, honey, and it wasn't a good shock either. I mean, I'm like, oh, this could be a lot of fun. No, honey, no. Each one of us had our own person that was watching the competition. And when we hit the wall, honey, they hit the thing. Listen, you was just lucky that none of us ate beans the night before because it'd have been a mess, honey.
Let me ask you, you never been somewhere where you had to wear a dog collar before?
Hell no. What are you talking about, honey?
You never been to one of dog masks? You never been to one of those bars?
Lord, no, honey.
What?
They don't have those down in the South?
Well, Lord, yeah, they got them in the South, but
the leather bars.
Oh Lord, honey, you put all that stuff on, you got to have scissors to get out of it. I'm too fat for that. We ain't doing none of that.
For the record, I've never been to any of these bars or heard about any of these bars.
Well, we'll do the next episode from there.
Yeah, let's go together. Wendell, you always want to come out with me and Bryce. So come out with us. Step outside. Well, you always want to come out with us.
Jason, you are welcome on the pod at any point. But I will just say that maybe not if we're going to one of these places that y'all are describing.
I have never been, but
nonetheless.
Oh, well, see, that'd be a learning experience for y'all. So.
Jason, do not listen to him. Let's continue the conversation. Trying to listen. Don't listen to him.
I'm in church. That's where I'm at. So.
Lord,
they have shock collars there too. Don't worry.
So our caller is Davon. She is navigating us individually through this maze, and when we hit the walls, we get shocked until we get certain body parts and bring them back. And who was the caller for the other team?
Justin.
Justin, that's right. And Davon said she's articulate and loud, so she'll be a good caller. And she got that right. She was loud and articulate, emphasis on loud, which actually is good strategy if you're yelling over the other team so they can't hear you as well.
It's real interesting.
What do you want from her? The challenge is to sit there and yell. Do you want her to sit there and be like, turn left?
I said, which right. Actually is good strategy.
But the way you put it, you were trying to throw shade with it.
No.
Derek,
It was a good strategy. So when we huddled together here to decide who's going to call, well, I knew I couldn't call. I'm loud, but my accent, honey, they'd have been rolling around in the floor. So I thought this is not going to work. So then we were like, well, Davon, because she's loud. And I was thinking this is perfect because she's going to drown out Justin or whoever's calling on this other team. And they're going to get so confused. They don't know which way is up and which way is down. So I thought this is great. So Joe can't call because he doesn't speak very loud. And Wendell and I are the go-getters. So neither one of us need to call. And CJ is not very loud either. So it was really the perfect choice was Davon.
It's interesting that we're saying Davon was the caller because multiple times through this episode, I could pause it and I could see Wendell yelling. And I even say at the end, at one point in time, I could see Dave, like it looked like she was telling you to shut up. But I don't know. Maybe maybe the shot caller on me I was getting buzzed while I was watching it.
I did help out towards the end. Cause yeah, that calling was I thought I could help out, and you never know what might be up her sleeve if she wants to throw something and she's in a power position. Like she's in the position where she can. It's very easy to throw that challenge. So I just wanted to help out and make sure that we won it. Anyway, nonetheless, we won the challenge. So we're
very quickly, I might add. If you all very quickly, I mean, we know how to get to body parts and we know how to get back. Getting shocked, okay, the first couple times you get over it. After that, it's just get through it. So,
can I ask a question?
Well, better than anybody I know.
Justin and Kristen, I was just, was it that Kristen couldn't hear Justin, or because my girl Kristen was?
She says she can't hear him, but honey, I can't hear him over Davon when they're calling. But after I get back to where I can take off the mask and I see what's going on, it's like, honey, there is no way you could be this deaf. I mean, he's over here screaming at the top of his lungs, dancing around like a little girl's got to pee. So there's no way you could not hear him. So I'm like, girl, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
It's just weird. It was just odd. I'm like, I don't know. Get the duck shit out of your ears, honey. You can hear. Come on.
It was very fun to watch.
Oh, it was fun to watch, honey. It's a hoot, honey. You listen. Standing there was even funner than seeing it on a television.
Yeah. So, shall we move on to how? Okay. So, we get some of the women, like Jill says, they need to preserve the female energy in the house. It seems like Kristen is feeling the heat. Day and Jill prep her to go have a conversation or go start. Don't give up on yourself. Go start making moves and acting like, talk to Wendell, offer yourself up as a number, etc. And she then comes to me, and I think in my head, I don't ever want to say no to anyone. And this is just like in Big Brother Derek, Jason, from watching these shows, it's like if someone comes to you, you don't say no, you just say, all right, maybe that can work, or you leave it open-ended. And in Kristen's case, I said, hey, well, if you get the numbers, I'm going with the numbers. Just let me know. Figure it out. Talk to everyone, get a feel, and come back. And but I think in my head, of course, I knew that I wanted to, and my squad wanted to weaken the Davon alliance a little bit. And Kristen was, she was unpredictable.
Very unpredictable. And we had seen that so much. It's just time for her to go. And I mean, there was another one on that side that I could have been okay with sending at this point. But it was her time. It was her time.
Yeah. Now,
when you say take accountability of everything too, she was trying to take accountability that she lost that challenge. So I do have a lot of respect for her doing that, because you know when you take accountability, you basically saying, I understand I'm going to be put up. I'm a target, and I get that. So kudos to her for doing that.
Yeah, now, she right out of the bat, she's like, well, it was me. I mean, I know I'm on, and I'm fine with it. I understand. So
is that now that's very respectable to like put the blame on yourself and own it. Now, strategy wise, is that a good strategy? I'm asking you guys this for real. Like,
It depends. To me, it depends on how many people's actually kind of standing with you or have stood with you. You're using this, oh, pity me. Oh, Lord, I've lost this challenge. Lord, it's my fault. Is this a strategy to get people to say, oh, no, honey, you didn't do it. Don't worry. We're not going to vote for you. And then they look another direction. Yes, it could be. I'm not so sure that was this instance, but yes, that totally could be.
right. Okay.
I agree. It's definitely a strategy move. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I played it a lot. Like, oh, I was so weak. You guys should put me up. Or, oh, I should go home. Like, it's pity. It's a pity move.
Well, actually, and I don't want to go too much longer. I know time's of the essence, but while we got Chef on, if we think about strategy, can we just have a little callback to episode 1 where you tied in the ultimation with Joey, and it seemed like you pulled one of the smoothest, quickest Jedi mind tricks I've ever seen in these games on tape.
Yes, honey. Listen, let's talk about that for a second. So, Joey and I are asked, you know, do we have anything to say? And he goes, "Oh, you go first." I'm like, you go first, because first of all, whatever the last person that speaks to the person that's fixing to save somebody, that's the last thing on their mind. They forget about what was just said somewhat. And I thought, no, I'm not going to talk first. You can go talk first. I don't even know who you are. You up in here from the ring or something? I don't know.
Not the ring.
So, and I'm like,
The
so he says whatever. I don't even remember what he says, you know. And so, and then I said, I'm like, look, girl, who do you think you can win against at the end of the day? Me or Joey? You know, and don't forget, girl, I know how to make you some tater salad. And so, you know, and then she thinks it takes her no time. She's like, I hate to do this. Bye, Joey. And I was like, so, you know, I mean, Tasha's thinking here with her stomach, but also her mind. Oh, I can beat this little short, sawed off piece of country bumpkin looking thing over here wearing all this
bacon.
You know, and then she's thinking, but I might get me some good tater salad out of it. And I'm like, so she saves me and away we go. And well, let's just say she left before she got her tater salad.
I will tell you this. Moving forward, Jason, if I ever do any type of show, there has to be a chef on the show. Because everything you're saying is just heaven. I would have ate so good. I would have been like, I'll go home for you, Jason, because you have fed me so well.
I'd be packing the Tupperware. Okay, honey, don't forget. Here's some tater salad. Here's some meatloaf now. And here, I just got these green onions out of the garden. Make sure you take them.
Shit.
Oh, man.
So we do cut to the ultimatum. And ultimation, whatever. Where's the wait, before we get there, how did you feel about the goat statue, Jason?
Bad.
Which one? There was 10.
The one you had to vote at, the one that looked like
that person. One you have to stick your whole arm into. I don't know. I feel, you know, when doing it first of all, the first time seeing it, it was kind of scurry a little bit. And I was like, oh, I was always brought up not to, you know, we ain't going to be worshiping no goat gods up in this house. But, you know, and then this light comes on in its mouth and you feel like you're going to be like a genie in a lamp and suck down its throat at any given time. But it's just not, I mean, and then, its butt comes out. I don't know. It's just weird. It's just weird.
I'm going to have to agree with everything he said about the goat.
Yeah.
And where was this taking place at? Was it in the backyard or front?
No, it's originally, so the goat statue where we vote, it is in the dining room of the mansion.
Oh, we haven't. Oh, that's a new area that we have not uncovered yet.
The dining room.
Write that down.
Thank you so much.
Take note. It's dining room. Big voting goat in dining room of mansion.
Thank you so much.
Well, we get to the ultimation, and this takes place. We had to. I told him last episode, Jason. We had to get in the boat in the dock. It's like we have to go to tribal council. They take us. It's about a 30-minute ride on a speedboat. The speedboat's blacked out. We all have masks on, so we can't see where we're going. And then all of a sudden, we're at this beautiful, scary place that is the ultimation. and it's time
Are you
to
smoking crack?
Okay, Jason. What type of tater salad are you
Listen,
eating?
who's full of it now is what I want to listen, honey. We come out of the kitchen door. What are you
Out the kitchen.
standing around
Your
listen,
kitchen
they-
door!
They're like, you go put on your glitter, children. Go change your underwear and meet back down in the kitchen. And we stand around the kitchen and have a cocktail. And then we go out the kitchen door and down the steps, which now I'm going to say the steps is scurry. They real scurry because it's dark outside. Listen, you go down them steps, you're going to face plant any minute now. So, and a lot of us wearing high heels most of the time. We could have got real hurt.
Now, last question for the notebook, Jason.
Yes.
The chairs, do they fold that you're sitting down in the backyard?
Well, no, they benches. One side you got benches, you know, like
Okay.
them old picnic benches. We just praying to God we don't get a
Oh,
splinter.
like a cookout, like a barbecue in the
Like a
backyard.
barbecue, honey. We had a
Got
goat
it.
roasting. Yeah, we had to goat roasting.
Oh,
And then on
okay.
the other side, you got a stool, honey, like you said at your breakfast.
Oh,
the
a
stool.
a stool.
But now
Cece,
this
you're not doing
episode,
me any
now,
favors.
episode 4, Wendell gets to sit in a chair that's covered in goat fur. And it smells like goat fur. We can smell it from where we're sitting. It stank.
And
Ew.
that's Wendell. That's probably that was probably.
See, to this point, I ain't been in no goat chair, but I can tell you, if I get to the goat chair, I'm going something that I can feel all that fur while I'm sitting there.
Oh, so you're gonna put on a Speedo.
Well, that might work, yeah.
Okay.
A little
So-
two-piece kind of action or something.
Come on, Big Daddy Jason. He said, I'm
Yeah.
putting on the Speedo, let you see all these legs.
Yeah.
My good
honey,
friend.
like a bucket of chicken.
Oh, okay. White meat or dark meat? Honey,
Honey, I like them both, so it don't matter.
My good friends, this has gotten out of control. Can you remind me who the GOAT is this episode, please?
Oh, this is Wendell. Wendell's the goat this episode. Sorry.
Okay, so the
Oh,
GOAT is
God.
sitting in his GOAT chair at the ultimation. On the hot seat, we have Kristen, Reza, Pal, Tech, and Justin. The votes are Kristen, Reza, Reza, Kristen, Reza, Kristen. Kristen is going home, and the remaining votes were for Kristen. And now is when Kristen lets
the clouds get dark. Okay.
But let me remind y'all, the whole time watching her face, every time Reza's name's called, she's like, oh. She really thinks he's going home. If you watch her face, she really thinks. But the longer it goes and she keeps getting more, she's like, I am about to let her fly.
And
she does, honey. She let her fly. Let me tell you, it was. And then, of course, Wendell says, "Is that a 2 or a 3?" And of course, only a few of us know what that means because we've said it several times. And so Rez is like, "Oh no, that's a 3. That's a total on 3." Tosh says, "No, it's a tropical storm." So he kind of knows what's going on too. He goes, "No, it's a tropical storm base." I'm like, "Are you blind, honey? That was more than a tropical storm."
I'm not gonna lie. I'm with Tosh. Do I think that she like really turned out like how I know she can? I was like, come on, Kristen. Like, I know you could do more than that. I'm sorry. Really, CJ ate her up, to be honest. Because CJ was like, girl, I'm bored. I'm yawning.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted her to go. If she was the way that she was exiting, if she was gonna go in and then come back out, baby, she should have walked her ass down those stairs and gotten some people's faces, and then I would have been like, okay, she ate, but I'm sorry.
Yeah, see, I'd have read all the cards. So,
right there on the stools,
honey, right there on the stew, honey.
Or
well,
the bench.
she had those words. She said, CJ, you're not a girl's girl. She said the men were mansplaining, even though I think she was the one saying all the words. And CJ, you're not here for the women. You take up for men in this house and in the world. And then she walks off, and then she comes back, has some more words, and then we're just like, okay, it's time to go inside now.
And
We
we're
get
all
inside.
thinking, hey, let's wait a minute. Let's make sure.
Make sure that the storm has passed.
Fast.
And we go back inside, and Reza now is he's a little amped up. And from Survivor World, I know that after you pull a big move or something and tensions are high, that's when you just want to chill out and kind of fade to the back, go to sleep, take it easy.
Yeah.
In Reza's case, he's saying like she deserved it, and I'm just like, buddy, we just did a strong, like we did this. These last couple votes, we did well. Let's just chill. But Reza's like,
he says, bye, bitch. And he flicks her off. And I was like, oh, honey, you just drove a nail in your coffin. I'm like, well, you shouldn't have done that.
And that made Jill very upset. And she says today, like, we need Reza out. And yeah, that, like, as much as I, you know, me, you, and Reza were like three strategists, right? But like Rez, you gotta take your wins a little more humbly. You gotta like, you know, we gotta think long term. And this Jill and they get amped up now.
Yeah, they wound up, honey, like two skunks a kissing in a corn patch. They ready to go at it, honey. They think they're at the WWE, ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Jason, I have to say, I am tilting my hat off to you because you have so many iconic lines that I need to take lessons. I've never felt that way about anyone besides you. Just so you know, Jason.
Agreed.
So I tip my hat off to you. I'm definitely going to be trying. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to take some of your stuff, okay, and make it my own. I might not have the Southern twang, but I need it, okay?
Honey, you do it. You use all that you need to use, honey.
And we will work together in the future, whatever show we on, because I love you. I
love that.
On this episode. Yes, on this episode, I have fell in love with you. And just know, no matter what we do, we always take out window. We do not let window stay. Please remember that.
Jeez.
I'm coming at you the first chance I get.
You're my brother.
I know, I love you, but you don't need
where
it.
you been at?
Listen, you may be all of our brother, honey, but you got to watch out now, honey.
Oh man, jeez. Well, this was our funnest podcast to date. Chef, we thank you so much. You are always welcome back. You can break down any episode for the rest of the season with us if ever you have time. But where can the people find you? What are your handles and whatnot?
Oh, Lord, honey, go to Instagram. Listen, it's easier. Just type in Chef Jason Smith on the Google, honey, and it'll tell you everything there. On Instagram is official Chef Jason Smith. Facebook is Lord Honey _ something Jason Smith. I mean, just type in Chef Jason Smith, honey. You'll find it all right there. So,
well, thank you again. Love you. Appreciate you. One of my favorites to watch. One of my favorites in the house. One of my favorite roommates. Actually, all of y'all are my favorite roommates. This has been episode 4 of the Goat Pod. Goat Pod. We will see you next week for episode 5. Let's see what happens. Much love. And again, thank you to Chef Jason Smith for joining us. We out.
Love ya.
The GOAT, it's the GOAT, it's the give it GOAT. The GOAT, it's the GOAT, it's the ever GOAT. The GOAT, I got a little tied up on that, but it's the GOAT.